I grew up in a really positive environment. I never really experienced my needs not really being met. I had a really loving family, and it was everything that you would expect to produce a healthy and an emotionally stable adult. But for some reason, something was amiss in my life, and things really started getting dark. I remember as a teenager lying in my bed and literally feeling like there's some kind of pain contorting my heart. I don't really know how to explain it aside from it was awful. And I think very strongly that it was something demonic. I had a lot of self-hatred inside of me. Because I hated myself, and because I was so lonely, and because I immersed myself in things like gory video games and dark comedy, I really thought about committing suicide. There's nothing necessarily wrong with wearing a lot of black, except for when it's meant to portray your desire to die. So I ended up dressing goth. Not as much as other people, but I still dressed in black with barbed wire and chains and things like that. But it wasn't for the sake of style. It was because, I guess you could say, it was a sickness of heart. My parents were, and still are, great parents. And they took my brothers and I to church consistently. It was really at church that I felt the Lord's presence, and I knew that He was real. And that's what kept me from ending it all. It's common for suicidal people to ask the question, well, what's the point? And so I wanted to know, what's the point behind life, if there is a God? I started taking every opportunity I could to learn about God. Youth group led to youth conferences, and youth conferences exposed me to discipleship programs, one of which was Bethany College of Missions. It was here that I really fell in love with the Lord. The change that happened in my life is real. Now when I ask myself what's the point behind life, is to stand before the Lord and to finally hear Him say, well done, good and faithful servant. Whenever I think of that day, I realize that life isn't pointless. It's a fight, but it's a fight to be fought and won for the Lord. I love the Lord, for He heard my voice. He heard my cry for mercy. That is the story of Jared Spengler.